Hello, welcome into this mystery reading. I'm Molly, the QuantumLeapQueen. Thanks for joining me on this reading. These readings are a timeless resource. I'm creating a library for you to come utilize whenever you need some extra nourishment in your life. So always pick a reading based on your intuition, whatever one calls to you intuitively. And trust that if you found this reading today, that there is a message here for you. So I'm going to set the intention, as always, to give you the best messages that you need to hear today. And I'm starting with the tarot. We're going to start with the pause tarot. So what are we talking about with this group today? I have the Knight of Swords. That's the first card out. What else with that? I have the Two of Swords in the reverse. Three of Swords in the reverse. Okay. Some of you are going through a heartbreak currently, or this is talking about a past situation where there was heartbreak. This is what I'm seeing. Definitely the person that you were with is that Knight of Swords energy, and the Two of Swords coming out in the reverse tells me being with someone so impulsive, we could say. I want to say like non-considerate. It did a number on you as far as you. I'm just picturing you as less secure. You feel less secure with yourself than you did at the beginning of this relationship, and it's really messed it with how you see yourself and your self-confidence and all of that stuff. So we'll get more into that. But this is what I'm seeing off the bat. The Three of Swords coming out in the reverse like this is really making me picture like how it's looking like an impaled heart. Like it was almost like you did everything you could and it was still like your heart just like dropped down. Gravity dropped your heart down onto this sword cluster. So it was almost like it was like slow and painful. And again, maybe you're in the heat of it right now, or maybe this is something from the past, but I can definitely tell there was a lot of chaos and mind games going on in this relationship. And that this partner you were with sees themselves on a pedestal above other people. And you also saw them as on a pedestal. So let's get more into this dynamic. What does this group need to know about this specific relationship? I have the Nine of Cups in the reverse. This is telling me you gave a lot of yourself in this relationship, just pouring into this person emotionally without it being met. So you had a lot of energy leakage to this person, and this person was sucking it up and without replenishing it. And I think that's just how they work, or how they choose to operate, is by that of the ego. And not that this person is a narcissist, but I do see them having narcissistic tendencies. So there's that. And as well, the term energy vampire, a person that takes other people's energy through emotional exchange, except for there's not an exchange. There is only a giver and a taker in most cases. That's what I see definitely was happening in this relationship. You lost yourself in this relationship, and they gained a sense of grandiose self, like they're always craving to do, because at the root of that grandiose self is the most insecure human being you could imagine, and the most miserable one at that. So I have the Four of Pentacles, I have the King of Swords. This person was very much stuck in their ways. Very much sees themselves up on a pedestal, but very good with the mind. Like I really think they are good with controlling people's points of view of them. They're not very rooted and grounded in their own integrity. What I see is they just tell people in the moment what they feel like telling people to try to persuade them into seeing them a certain way, to see their perspectives a certain way. And as well, they're not very generous. I have the Four of Pentacles with their energy too. They're not very giving and generous. They're very selfish and an egoic kind of selfish. Because again, at the end of the day, I think this person really does not like themselves. There's a bit of self-loathing here. And they are fixated on control because it's the thing that compensates then for their insecurity at the core of this issue. So being around a person like this who truly is miserable themselves, it makes you miserable. Even though on the outside they don't act that way. They don't act miserable. They act like they have everything together. But I think you've been seeing under the surface of that. And a lot has been coming to light as you are processing this relationship. I have Justice on the top of the deck. You know, I think that's like the thing you want most, is just like that this person gets justice. That justice gets served. And I can tell you that Lady Karma always makes her rounds, and it's not your duty to fulfill the justice, but it is a new commitment, I believe, you have with yourself that says, like, I'm going to make sure that I have the best freaking life post this relationship, and that the next partner I have is actually giving and loving and has a lot of the opposite tendencies of who I was just with. Someone who is rooted, solid, and secure in themselves and doesn't have the narcissistic tendencies actually has done their inner work. So know that all of that is coming, but that is your path and your focus. That's the only thing you can control, is your path. That's just a reminder for you. What else can I tell this group? I have the King of Wands and I have the Sun. I feel like, yes, this is speaking volumes to the differences between the two of you. The King of Wands is definitely your ex-partner's energy, and they're just, again, coming out as that grandiose, semi-narcissistic kind of person that thinks that they are superior to other people. And you coming out as the Sun are such a bright light in this person. Were a bright light in this person's life, which they loved at the beginning until you started to expose their shadows. And then they were like, hey, maybe you're not as cool as I thought you were. But you're just being yourself, which is light, which, you know, I definitely think you're more of a optimistic individual. They're more of a pessimistic individual. You know, they're creating their own misery because they're not doing their own work. And a person that's miserable, like, vibration doesn't lie. So on a frequency level, they're going to bring you down with them. Just if you're around them, they're going to extract your light and then make you wrong. They try to dim your light because they're extracting it. So yeah, you give them that feeling of feeling good, and they, you know, use that as like an addiction in a way. But then they also punish you for it or shame you for it in some ways, because at the end of the day, they hate themselves, and they're like, want to punish you for giving them unconditional love because they wouldn't even do that for themselves. It's sad, but it's just the manner of things. That's just how reality is. So to know who you are at a new deep level here is profound, and there's actually going to be a lot of gratitude for this relationship, because this person also exposed where you didn't have proper boundaries for your big, beautiful heart. Because you also have to take radical responsibility for how much light you have. You have to take responsibility for that and be picky and choosy about the people, places, things, situations you invest your light into. Because you want to be investing in places that also see you and nourish you back. Just giving your light away free nilly-willy to someone who doesn't honor it, that's not loving towards yourself. And that's what you're coming back to. So, that's good from the tarot. Let's dive into some oracle messages. I'd like to start with the Sacred Symbols Oracle. This is the deck. I always have the decks listed below in the description. So let's take a look. What are we looking at with this group? What's the best message for this group? Water, number 18. Water. It definitely could be that you are still very emotional from this relationship. Let's see what nourishment there is for you with the water elements. Emotions, receptivity, and a connection to bodies of water. Drawing this card is a symbol of connecting to your emotions regarding your question or situation. Allow yourself to be open to any changes of direction and let the element of water guide you in the right direction. Meditate with this symbol by a body of water in the bath or with a vessel of water to help keep the emotions pure and to assist you in being more flexible. This is the symbol of water alchemy. This is the symbol of alchemical. This is the alchemical symbol for water. So, as you are cleansing from this relationship, as you are renewing yourself, definitely cry in the bathtub, like go swimming in the ocean or in a lake or in a pool or anything you can do to bring in that water elements. Another really witchy thing you could do is collect moon water on a full moon, put out a jar of water to collect it, and then use that jar of water, drink some a little every day with the intention of helping you to clear and cleanse the really hard emotions. So this is giving you permission to use water as a resource to help you to continue to process and cleanse all the heavy emotions from this past relationship. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to pull from I Create My Reality next. Okay, there is a message ready for you. I love in abundance, receive in abundance. And that's exactly where you want to get to too. Like, you're already knowing this is your path, but you don't want this relationship to shut you down or to close off your heart. So that's what you're doing again now here, is reconnecting to your infinite self and the love of the universe that's the fabric of everything, in order to then be open to receive again. Love in abundance, receive in abundance. I open my heart to receive love. I open my heart to give love. Love is powerful, but it is not to be feared. To fear love is to fear life. Love moves everything towards its true nature. Make yourself receptive to being filled with love. And once love fills you, you have an endless gift to give. Love in abundance, receive in abundance. Love flows freely through me. I think that's really crucial and powerful. And I also think that getting to this state of opening your heart again, really, like, that's not something that you can fake. It's not something that you can rush. I think when you go through such a life-changing relationship like this and you're healing from the heartbreak, it takes time to process everything and then to slowly reopen your heart. And I don't think that process should ever be rushed. I think you should absolutely take all the time in the world that you need to review this relationship, and yet to use the tools like meditation, journaling, many different tools out there to help you to release the emotions so that they don't plague you. You're not carrying around that baggage. But that takes time. That's not an overnight thing. But when you have this goal of getting to the point where your heart is open for love again, is choosing love, even if fear is there, that's when you alchemize the past hurts and the past heartbreak. And that's truly, I think, when justice is served too. You're not passing on the heartbreak to someone else or the hurt and pain to someone else. You're taking that hurt and pain and you're transmuting it into love. And that makes you a super powerful creator, and that makes you complete the karmic cycle. You say, this ends with me. So I do think that's an ultimate goal of yours, to open your heart again, to be able to receive love and to give love and to just move forward. It says without fear, but even with fear, even if it's present, you still move forward and you still operate with an open heart and with humility and vulnerability. That is the most freeing you can do and be. So I want to say that as well. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to pull from the Moonology deck next. What is the best message for this group from this deck? Nice. We have hold your vision with a fixed moon. I get for a lot of you, you're kind of deep in the trenches right now as far as processing this relationship. So I know that you have already glanced at things in the future, or starting to get at least like some information of like what could possibly be coming for you. And I think that's what it's asking you to hold, is like that hope, that kernel of hope for a bright, loving future, and one that's even better than you could have imagined. Truly, I think like, especially post a relationship like this, when you just keep choosing yourself, truly the doors just open for you into amazing opportunities, amazing relationships, amazing experiences. As long as you know, like, the karmic cycle ends with me. I'm that powerful, and I choose to live with an open heart, open to new experiences. I'm choosing to risk it all, regardless. So there's so much powerful potential you have right now, but again, not rushing the healing process, fully being in it, fully feeling everything. And then also holding that vision for the future. And I keep hearing and seeing the word hope. Just hold on to that kernel of hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You've already done some work with this, and you will continue to do more. But you know that eventually this chapter will be complete, and you will be in a new spot, energetically, emotionally, and likely even physically too. So trust yourself, trust your vision, and hold on to that kernel of hope. Okay, to wrap up this reading, I'm going to pull from the Animal Oracle. What's the best message for this group from this deck? Thank you. We have a couple messages here. Okay, so it's see beyond the past and surrender to receive. Notice how both of these, the animals are in water. We got the water element. So, and this cute little otter is shedding a tear. Surrender to receive. See beyond the past. You're really stepping into some really new energy that is totally based in love and soul alignment. Okay. I'd like to read both. We do have time. Let's read both here. 23. See beyond the past. The beautiful black swan. The fable of the ugly duckling tells of a baby swan that nested with baby ducks. All the ducks made fun of little swan for how different he looked, which made him feel inherently not good enough. Little swan compared himself to what a duck should look like rather than own the nature of his true self, a swan. Sadly, little swan began to assume the identity of the ugly duckling. As time went on, little swan grew and became the most beautiful black swan, and some would even say more magnificent than the common ducks that bullied him. This card is the story of what happened to the black swan as an adult. Reflected in the water is his heartbroken child self. Despite how gorgeous Black Swan became, he suffered from severe shame and feelings of unworthiness. He could not see the glorious truth of himself. He became crippled by the delusion that something was inherently wrong with him. He believed a wicked distortion that diminished his worth. He was utterly unaware of his captivating beauty and could honor neither himself nor the gifts the great mystery bestowed upon him. He became obsessed with the outside validation and compared himself to other winged creatures. The ugly duckling finally woke up to his true self as the beautiful black swan and asks you to do the same. Swan's medicine asks you to accept that you feel your insecurities, but do not submit to them. Whenever you feel small, it's not reality. It is the old story and the programming that brainwashed you. Please wake up from the illusion and honor what the Great Spirit gifted you, the gift of yourself. No one in the world is like you. Own that you are a rare miracle. It's amazing. It's so what you need to hear. And it's so in line with this past relationship, because often in relationships like this person at the beginning puts you on a pedestal. Like they really it's the love bombing. They wooed you. They made you feel so special. And then slowly they took away that admiration and attention and love over a long period of time. And that messes with your self-perception, how you see yourself, because it's like, how is this person thinking I was the shit, and then all of a sudden they think I'm shit? It really does mess with your self-perception. So it's important to know that too. Also, I'm sure it goes beyond this person to many people in your life that just couldn't really see you, but now you're at the point where you're taking back your power and no one's going to stop you. So own your magic, own your uniqueness, and now you see how special you are and the gifts that you have. I think especially going through such a deep heartbreak, you awaken so many gifts because you're in new depths within yourself, and that's where the treasures are. So know that and honor that too, and honor those gifts and honor yourself by eventually making them known, making them seen, living your life authentically the way you are hearing intuitively how to live. Trust yourself with that. Okay, last card here. Surrender to receive, Otter. Otter teaches us about the feminine power of reception through surrender. In the sea, Otter is often floating on her back, stomach open to the sky, receiving the sun. This is an extremely vulnerable position. To be free from worry and not distracted by what may lurk in the dark waters below is a liberated state of being. The medicine of this card directly asks you to be patient, accept uncertainty, fully trusting that you will be taken care of no matter what. Be wary of the mind chatter insisting that you need to know the outcome now. Universal law does not resonate with the ego's desperate need for instant gratification. Something is waiting to be received, but it can only be accepted if you open and allow it. When you are open to receiving, you become a magnet for that which you seek. What is the exception or problem, what is the expectation or problem you are holding on to so tightly? Imagine that issue is a tightly closed fist. When you unclench your fist, your open palm is able to receive what life has in store for you. Let go of the need to control what you cannot control. Surrender the idea of how you need the outcome to look. Otter's power in the sea is her sensual flexibility. She bends and yields with the currents. Allow the moment to unfold without forcing it into a box of limited human perception. Otter swims in the dark, mysterious sea of the unknown. It is here that she receives all of her nourishment. Otter's medicine is to surrender and swim with the current of uncertainty and receive something far greater than your immediate and limited desires. Beautiful. And just, allow yourself to be in the unknown. And allow yourself to slowly open up, like if that fist was your heart, just slowly open that up again. But again, don't rush that. That takes time. Don't put pressure on yourself to open up when you don't feel authentically ready. But you can be watching the mind chatter when it's telling you things need to be different than they are. And you can also be just open to the unknown, just not knowing what's coming, and also that you don't need the instant gratification of knowing what's coming next. Really trusting exactly where you're at. You don't have to like it. You don't have to pretend to like it, but just to be in all that you are, which is very emotional right now. We've been getting that as a major theme throughout this entire reading. So be with yourself, give yourself grace, and this is simply a chapter, and this chapter will pass, but don't rush this chapter. It's very important. Okay. So that's it from this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it brought you nourishment. Come on back and, pick a reading when you need some more nourishment. These are timeless readings. You can subscribe, comment below how this reading resonated with you, and I also have my link down there to work with me. So, till the next reading, guys, we'll see you. Bye.